The Void Whispers. It started with a routine mission. I was part of a 4-person crew aboard the Aurora Horizon, tasked with repairing a malfunctioning satellite orbiting Mars. Standard procedure, we thought. But space has a way of reminding you just how fragile humanity is. We docked at the satellite without incident, but as soon as we opened the hatch, something felt off. The silence inside wasn't the usual kind, the kind that comes from being surrounded by vacuum and metal. It was heavier, oppressive, like it had weight. My stomach churned, but I pushed it aside. We had a job to do. As we worked, strange things began happening. Tools would disappear only to reappear in places we hadn't left them. Lights flickered despite our instruments showing no power fluctuations. At first, we laughed at off-spacecraft quirks, we told ourselves. But then came the whispers. I heard them first while checking the satellite's communication array. Faint voices, distorted and garbled, coming through my headset. Help! Come back! You shouldn't be here. I spun around, heart pounding, but there was nothing behind me except the cold expanse of space visible through the porthole. When I mentioned it to the others, they dismissed it as interference from solar radiation. Still, the whispers persisted, growing louder and more urgent each time. One night, during our scheduled sleep cycle, I woke up to find one of my crewmates, Sarah, staring out the window into the void. Her face was pale, her eyes wide with terror. "Did you hear it?" she asked, her voice trembling. "Hear what?" I replied, though I already knew. "It's out there," she whispered. "Something's watching us." Before I could respond, the ship shuddered violently. Alarms blared as the oxygen levels dropped alarmingly fast. We scrambled to locate the source of the leak, but every system read normal. And yet, the air grew thinner with each passing second. That's when we noticed the scratches-long, jagged marks etched into the outer hull, as if something had clawed at it from the outside. Panic set in. The captain, Mark, ordered us to prepare for emergency evacuation, but before we could act, the lights went out entirely. Darkness enveloped us, broken only by the dim glow of our helmet lamps. Then came the tapping, a soft, rhythmic sound against the hull, growing louder and closer with each passing moment. "Whatever it is, it's on the other side," Mark said, his voice steady despite the fear evident in his eyes. "Stay calm and stick together." But staying calm was impossible. The tapping turned into scratching, then scraping, as if whatever was out there was trying to break through. And then, it spoke not through words, but through thoughts, seeping into our minds like poison. "You don't belong here," it whispered, its voice echoing in my head. "This place is ours now." Sarah screamed as the pressure inside the cabin suddenly shifted. The walls seemed to close in around us, the temperature dropping so low that frost formed on the interior surfaces. Shadows moved where there should have been none, twisting and writhing like living entities. One by one, my crewmates fell silent, their bodies slumping lifelessly to the floor. I tried to run, but my legs wouldn't move. My suit's life support systems failed, leaving me gasping for breath as the darkness consumed everything around me. In my final moments, I saw a massive, indistinct shape floating just beyond the porthole, its form shifting and changing like liquid metal. Its eyes glowed with an unearthly light, boring into mine with an intensity that made my blood run cold. Then, it smiled. When rescuers found the Aurora Horizon weeks later, they reported finding only one survivor me. They said I was catatonic, muttering the same phrase over and over again. They're still out there, and maybe they are, because sometimes, late at night, when I'm alone in my apartment, I swear I can still hear the whispers. Coming from somewhere far away, yet impossibly close. "They're waiting," the voice says, "for when you come back, and I know it's not a matter of if, but when."